Hello students, last class we have seen about solar radiation and factors affecting solar radiation etc. And this fifth lecture we are going to see about air temperature, in which we are going to cover the topics factors affecting air temperature, diurnal and seasonal variation, isotherm, heat units and their uses, and heat and cold injuries which are causing to the plant. So before we go in depth, let us see the definition of air temperature. Please note down the definition of air temperature. The measure of speed per molecule of all the molecules of a body. This is called the temperature, and the definition for heat is the energy arising from random motion of all the molecules of a body. I am repeating, the energy arising from random motion of all the molecules of a body. So this is the definition for the temperature. So in short term, to understand better, I can say air temperature means transferring of heat from one molecule to the another molecule in the air. Already I explained about the transfer of heat and the different modes. First one is conduction, second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. Three types are there. So in air temperature also it will be conduction, convection and radiation. By all these means the temperature can be transformed. So in this lecture we are going to discuss all about air temperature, how air temperature varies, in what factors, and how it how it transforms from one place to the other place. So next let us see the factors which are affecting air temperature. We all know the meaning of latitude and altitude. In the first class itself I explained. To recall, I am telling again. So for example, this is the equator, and northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, the ends we call polar. So equator, tropical, subtropical, temperate and polar at last. So latitude, the meaning of latitude means the perpendicular lines which are drawn along the equator. That means this is the equator line, the imaginary lines. This is the equator line, and opposite to the equator the lines which are drawn called latitude. Parallel to the equator line are longitude. So from equator line, the imaginary line, the more you go towards the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, the temperature will be varied. So at polar minimum temperature will be, and at equator maximum temperature will be. So from equator, as you go tropical, subtropical, temperate and polar, as you go to the polar regions, the temperature will fall. So in air temperature also, as we go to the polar side, the temperature will fall. So that's in latitude also plays the air temperature. At the equator region the temperature will be very high. As we go to the polar region, the temperature will come down. Then the next one is altitude. Altitude means it is vertical height from the surface of the earth. So let us say here, from the more we go to the height, the fall of temperature we can see. Already I said that for every 1 kilometer 6.5 degrees centigrade fall of temperature we can see in vertical. So the more we go to the atmospheric regions, from one region to the another region, we can see the fall of temperature. That also one of the factor where we see the different temperatures in the air. That means to the troposphere the temperature will be high when we go to the again stratosphere or mesosphere. Likewise, when we go for one sphere to the other spheres, temperature will be varied. Then the next one is distribution of land and water. So in this distribution of land and water, when we look at, we have to know how quickly land will get heat and how quickly land again get cool. And also when we look at the water means here water bodies, maybe the sea, ocean or river, whatever the water bodies. When we look at them, see, every day once sun shine comes, then till the sun goes, sunrise and sunset I'm talking about. So from the time of sunrise to till the time of sunset, when we compare water body and the surface of the earth will quickly heat up and quickly cool down in the evening. But when we look at the water bodies, their surface will heat up very slowly and also their surface will cool down very slowly. That's the difference between the land and water. The distribution of land and water means in that particular region, instead of having much amount of land, if we have much amount of water bodies, then automatically hardness will be there. The reason is water bodies will slowly, though they may heat up, but they will not come down quickly to the less temperature. So when that particular air when passes from water bodies to the land area, because of the high temperature which is present in the water body, that high temperature will be passed through air to the land area. So because of which air temperature will be varied from one place to the other place. Wherever water bodies are more, their temperature will be little high than the other places where water bodies not there. So likewise, distribution of land and water, the composition, how much land area is there, how much water body is there, accordingly temperature will be varied. Then the next one is ocean currents. Ocean currents means in Tamil we can say kadal alai. So in the ocean, when temperature raises, the water temperature when it raises, and when wind blows from one place to the other place, along with this water temperature also will get mixed with the wind and it will be carried from one place to the other place. So from hot areas to the cool areas it may be transformed. So when we look at the oceans and seas, they will be in much large area that we know already, because 1/3 only the land area, the remaining left over is only oceans and seas. So from polar region to the equator, if we see the oceans, these are the oceans are the one which are playing major role in varying the temperature, we can say, because from polar regions to this less temperature can be carried to the equator region through ocean currents. So that is also one of the reason how air temperature can be affected. Then prevailing winds. We all know prevailing winds means from wind will be, see, first we have to know the meaning of wind. Wind means the moving air is called wind. If air don't move from one place to the other place, that we don't call wind, but moving air is called wind. So prevailing wind means the moving wind. From which direction that particular wind is moving, from north to east or north to south or east to west, in which direction the wind is moving. For example, in north to south wind is moving, let us take. So in northern area maybe hot weather may be there or cool weather may be there. So whatever the weather it may be, when that particular wind moves from North India to South India, let us take, so from that cool temperature or hot temperature, whatever it may be, it can be transformed from North India to South India. So winds also plays major role in air temperature. Then the next one is cloudiness. Though during summer season or winter season or rainy season, whatever it may be the season, when clouds occurred in the climate or in weather, when clouds occur, clouds automatically what will they do? They will stop the incoming solar radiation. So when they stop incoming solar radiation, ultimately we are not getting heat from the sun. So all of a sudden that particular area will get cool and it will ultimately affect the air temperature. So far air temperature may be very high, because of the cloudiness all of a sudden that air temperature will come down. So clouds also plays major role in air temperature. Then the next one is mountain barriers. Mountain barriers means, see, for example, this is the agriculture field, and after the agriculture fields we are having mountain, big mountain, and after that again agriculture fields are there. So when wind is coming towards this direction, and till now the wind temperature may be high, but when it comes and hits this particular mountain, and the wind velocity also will come down, because wind will act as a wall to bring down the velocity of wind, that means the speed of the wind. And also that wind, whatever the flow it comes, because it became barrier, that wind has to climb up to the mountain and again it has to slowly come down. So by the time, because they are going certain height and we are bringing down the wind velocity, it will reduce the wind temperature. We all know that altitude already we have seen, the more we go in the manner of vertical section, the temperature of the air will come down. So when it goes up, and by the time when it comes down again, air temperature will fall. And the next after the mountain, the whatever the agriculture fields are there, they will face again some cool air, and the temperature automatically will fall. So mountain barriers also will play major role. Then the nature of surface. Nature of surface means what kind of surface means nothing but the surface of the soil. Let us take. Okay, so what type of soil do we have? First of all, maybe it may be the sandy soil, or maybe clay soil, or loamy soil. Whatever it may be the soil. Here it's all about the color of the soil. What color that particular soil is having. For example, if it is light textured soil or sandy soil, what will happen when it was already explained last class, the previous class, when the soil of the color is light, automatically when it's the particular color, the temperature will be high. See, when black color soil is there, that particular soil will absorb more amount of sunlight and it will get heat quickly. So when it get heat quickly, this particular soil surface will again reflect back that particular temperature whatever received by the sunlight, that when soil get heats up, and after that particular heat again it will reflect back into the atmosphere. So when it reflects back into the atmosphere, the surrounded air which is present in that particular soil, that will get heat. So this air also will get up with the heat, and ultimately air temperature also will vary. If we have light textured soil where it will absorb and again immediately reflects, and there also temperature will rise. So whatever it may be the soil condition, black soil will absorb much amount of heat, and because of the much amount of heat present in the soil, that heat will be transformed into the air and air temperature will be varied. In case of light texture, that means maybe some light colored soils where they don't absorb much heat, but instead of absorbing they will reflect back into the air. So because of the reflection, again air temperature will increase. So this is all about the nature of surface. Then next one is relief. Relief means nothing but it's like topography. See, when soil, instead of having plain in the nature, soils, that particular land area may be having elevations, slow elevations. So when we have like these elevations, when wind blows into that particular land area, what will happen? Wind cannot blow in a same speed. When we have up and downs, it has to hit one elevation, again it has to climb down, again when it goes in the normal, again another relief will come, elevation will come, again it has to hit, and again it has to all climb all above the elevation, again it has to come down. So likewise, when it comes up and down, ultimately it will affect the temperature of the air and also the wind speed. So we can see all these in mountains and valleys. Mountain means you all know, mountain and valley. Again in this one we call valley, and this one is mountain. So when it hops all around the mountain, it will climb up and again it will fall down to the valley. When wind comes to the valley, the temperature will be brought to here, that cool temperature. Again when it climb all the way, again the temperature. That's why when we go to the hilly areas like Ooty, Kodaikanal or any other hilly stations, where because vertically we are going towards the high elevated areas, so their temperature will fall. Already I said that every 1 kilometer 6.5 degrees centigrade of temperature will fall. So the temperature will be brought down to the lower areas through wind or air. So temperature again will vary. So it's all about relief. Then the next one is convection and turbulence. Turbulence means here nearby the equator, that the air which is present nearby the equator, the temperature will be very high. So because of that temperature very high, the expansion of molecules which are present in the air will happen. When the expansion of molecules are there, happens that air automatically starts move from one place to the other place. So in the equator itself, the winds will be, that's why the imaginary line at equator, wind blow will be very high when we compare to the polar region because of expansion of molecules in the air. So that air, when expansion is happening, automatically pressure will be created. When pressure creates, then air cannot stand at one place, it will move one place to the other place. How? From high pressure to the lower pressure. So here from high pressure to the lower pressure nearby equator, wind will be moved and the temperature will be transformed from one place to the other place. So nearby equators, air temperature will be get affected because of turbulence. That movement of air from one place to the other place nearby equator we call turbulence. That I'll tell in detail in the upcoming classes. Then the last one is convection. Convection means we all know, already have explained in the transfer of heat, movement of molecules from one place to the other place. Along with movement of molecules, that heat will be transformed from one place to the other place. So in air also we'll be having molecules. So those molecules, when they move from one place to the other place, for example from high temperature to the low temperature, those molecules will carry that particular temperature along with them and they will transfer to the low temperature areas, and from one molecule to the other molecule the temperature will be passed, and also the molecules which are carrying from one place to the other place also will carry the temperature with their own self. So likewise air temperature can be affected from one region to the other region. So these all are about the factors affecting air temperature. The first one is latitude, second one is altitude, third one is distribution of land and water, fourth one is ocean currents, fifth one is prevailing winds, sixth one cloudiness, mountain barriers, nature of surface, ninth one relief, and the last one is convection and turbulence. These all are very important factors which are affecting air temperature. This question is very important for the exam point of view, so please study well. The meaning of diurnal and seasonal variation of air temperature. First let us look into the diurnal variation in air temperature. So here we'll take one maximum and one minimum air temperature in a day. For example, see in the early morning we see the minimum temperature in a day, and the maximum temperature when we see in a day, it's like in some noon time, like 1 to 2 p.m. Though in the mid afternoon like 12 p.m. sunshine will be very high, but by in the afternoon 1 to 2 p.m. we can see the maximum temperature in a day. Then from then again gradually temperature will come down. So but minimum temperature when can we see during a day? I mean in the entire day 24 hours, the minimum temperature we can see in the early morning 4 a.m. So that is the time where we can see the minimum temperature in a day. The difference between the minimum temperature and maximum temperature is called diurnal variation. So every day we can see diurnal variation, but when the maximum diurnal variation we can see means in a clear days. That means instead of cloudy days we can see the clear days. That means sunny days we can see the maximum diurnal variation. That means maximum temperature will be very high and minimum temperature will be less. So the variation will be very high. But during the cloudy season or during the winter season, the minimum temperature will be less, but it won't go to the maximum temperature how it goes during the summer season. So the diurnal variation will be less. So then how can we know the mean diurnal variation? The mean diurnal variation, that means average temperature of that particular day. That if we want to know, then we have to add maximum temperature and minimum temperature and divided by 2. For example, in a particular day the minimum temperature is 10 degrees centigrade plus the maximum temperature may be some 30 degree centigrade. So 10 plus 30, 40. 40 divided by 2 equals to 20. So the average diurnal variation temperature is 20 degrees in a day. So this is average or mean diurnal temperature. Then the next one is seasonal variation. So we can see every season there will be variation in air temperature. For example, in winter season the temperature will be very less, but in summer season the temperature will be very high. So from season to season variations are there. That's we call seasonal variation in air temperature. So why in summer season the temperature is very high and why in winter season the temperature is very less? Means it's all about the how the earth is revolving all around the sun, that I explained in the last class. So that is one of the major reason why the temperature varies from season to season, and also it's all about the where the particular location is at the particular equator or tropical region or subtropical region or temperate region or polar region. So at polar region, whatever the season it may be, most of the times the temperature will be very less, but in the equator region the temperature will be very high. Maybe because of the season temperature fluctuations will be there, but more or less when we compare with the polar region, equator region will have more temperature. Then the next one is horizontal air temperature distribution. So already I have discussed in the factors affecting air temperature all about latitude. Latitude means horizontally how the particular air is distributing on the earth. So when that particular air is moves from one place to the other place, automatically that particular temperature will move from one place to the other place. This is all about horizontal air temperature distribution. It's not all about only season, but every day it varies from one place to the other place. This particular temperature can be moved. Then the next one is vertical air temperature distribution. Vertical air temperature means that also we discussed in altitude. The more height when we go in vertical manner in height, the more we go the temperature fall we can see. So in the air also, nearby the surface of the earth, air temperature always high, but when we go in altitude, that means in vertical section, when we go to the height, then the temperature will fall down. So air temperature will be less as we go more to the vertical way. Then the next one, this is very important, isotherm. Isotherm means the lines connecting points of two equal temperature is called isotherm. That means two lines. For example, in the earth here, temperature in the in particular location, the temperature here some 20 degrees centigrade is there, and somewhere else another place another 20 degrees, same temperature is there. So these two lines, if we join in these two locations on the earth, it may be one country, it may be another country on the earth. So when we join to these two locations with a line, that connecting line is called isotherm. So when we connect when we connect a line to the particular equal temperatures is called isotherm. Therm means temperature, you know that. So isotherm, iso means equal, therm means temperature. So two equal temperatures which are connecting by a line is called isotherm. That line we call isotherm. This is very important for the blank.